The life of Jesus. In the beginning, before time ever ticked, before light kissed the darkness, before galaxies spun and oceans roared, there was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Through him all things were made. Nothing exists without him. But then, in a humble town called Bethlehem, he stepped out of eternity into time. The Word became flesh, fragile, small, human, born not in a palace of kings, but in a manger among animals and straw. No golden crib, only a feeding trough. No royal fanfare, only shepherds under a starry sky. This was God's grand entrance, heaven touching earth in the most unexpected way. The childhood of Jesus he grew, not in courts of power, but in the workshop of Joseph, his earthly father, the carpenter's son, learning to shape wood with his hands, hands that one day would stretch out on a cross. At 12 he sat in the temple, surrounded by teachers and scholars, and they were amazed not at his age, but at his wisdom, because he spoke as one who knew eternity firsthand. Even then he said, "Did you not know I must be about my Father's business?" But his time had not yet come. Baptism and calling. Years passed. Then came the river, the Jordan, where waters swirled and heaven opened. As John lowered him into the water, a voice thundered from above, "This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased." And the Spirit descended like a dove, resting on him, empowering him for what was to come. For 40 days he fasted in the wilderness, tempted by the enemy, yet standing firm, every lie met with truth. It is written, the Word wielding the Word. The ministry of Jesus. Then his ministry began. He healed the sick, the blind saw light for the first time, the deaf heard the laughter of loved ones, the lame danced in streets where they once begged. He spoke and storms stilled. He touched lepers and shame dissolved. He called fishermen, tax collectors, zealots, ordinary men, invited into an extraordinary mission. Crowds followed him everywhere, some for miracles, some for words of life that pierced their souls, but not all believed. The road to the cross. The tide turned. Religious leaders plotted. A friend betrayed him with a kiss. Soldiers seized him. Crowds that once shouted, "Hosanna," now cried, "Crucify him." They placed a crown of thorns on his head, stripped him, mocked him, beat him. And on a hill called Golgotha, the creator of life was nailed to wood he had created. The earth trembled, the sky darkened, and with his final breath he whispered, "It is finished." But finished did not mean defeated. The resurrection. 3 days later, the stone rolled away. Angels announced, "He is not here, he is risen." Death couldn't hold, the grave couldn't keep him. Sin had no claim on him. He appeared to his followers. Thomas touched his wounds. Peter found forgiveness. He broke bread, walked, spoke, alive, victorious, eternal. The legacy. And before he ascended, he said, "Go into all the world and make disciples." The mission continues. The story lives on. Because Jesus is not just a historical figure, not just a name in ancient texts. He is hope for the hopeless, healing for the broken, freedom for the captive, life for the dead. This is not just history. This is an invitation to know him, to follow him, to let his life transform yours. If this touched your heart, type "I believe" in the comments. Share this video, let his story change someone else's too. Subscribe for more powerful Bible stories and spoken words that breathe life. The life of Jesus changes everything. The question is, will you let it change you? Amen.